Hola, bienvenidos de nuevo a tu clase española. Right, there's no worksheet for today's lesson, so just make sure you've got your book or something that you can write on so you can get your answers down. And number 2, please make sure you are going over lesson 1 and marking the work. I will have sent you the answer sheet, and that will be via Teams, the homework planner, or your emails. So check all the platforms, mark your work, and then come back to this one. Okay, so today's lesson is ¿Cómo es tu familia? What's your family like? The objective is to revise family and descriptions vocabulary and use possessive adjectives. Can you translate the vocab on the right hand side? Try to do this without any support, but obviously go back to your book if you are looking for a bit more support. Okay, the answers: sister, brother, hermano, hermana, mother, madre, father, padre, stepsister, hermanastra. To make it stepbrother, just change the last letter to an O. Stepfather, padrastro. To say stepmom is madrastra. Nephews and nieces are as follows. We just change the ending, so sobrino, sobrina, sobrino, sobrinas. Granddad and grandma, abuelo, abuela. Husband, marido. Wife, 2 options here, mujer and esposa. Great-grandfather, bisabuelo. Great-grandmother, we change it to bisabuela. Grandchildren, nietos, and we can change the ending to make it specific to 1 or more boys or girls that are grandchildren. Uncle and auntie, tío, tía, son or daughter, hijo, hija, and cousins, primos. Make a note of any of these if you haven't got them. Otherwise, let's move on. ¿Quién es? Aquí tenemos 8 frases en español. Por favor, completa la frase con el vocabulario correcto sobre quién es el miembro de la familia. You've got to fill in the gaps with the correct family vocab. And we're talking about possession here. So let's look at sentence number 1 as an example. El marido de tu abuela es tu abuelo. Why is the answer abuelo? Because the sentence literally says the husband of your grandmother is your grandfather. Remember, in Spanish we don't have apostrophes, so we wouldn't be saying your grandmother's husband. It's the husband of your grandma. Okay, see if you can do the rest for me. Pause the video, have a look at the challenge at the bottom as to which words in the sentence are the possessive adjectives. Excellent, so our answers are as follows. We have tío for number 2 because we're saying your dad's brother. Number 3, madre, because you're saying your dad's wife. Number 4, prima, because you're saying your auntie and uncle's daughter. Number 5, hermano, because you're saying your parent's son. Number 6, bisabuela, because you're saying your dad's grandma. Number 7 is tía, because you're saying your dad's sister. And number 8 is sobrino, because you're saying your brother's son. And the possessive adjective in these phrases are tu and tus. Knowing all of this now, can you predict how we would fill in the gaps on this table? Okay, so hopefully you have put tu and tus here based on the last exercise. And as we can see, this column here has an S at the end of each word, but this one doesn't. So that only assumes this box here must be su. And these are other examples of possessive adjectives. Over the next few slides, you can pause the video as many times as you like, read the explanations and examples about possessive adjectives, and make as many notes as you wish. So if you've been taught by myself, Miss Henton, you may have seen this table being handed out to you in class. This is just to give you a bit more of a concise explanation of how it falls into tables. So you've got your English of the possessive adjective, then your singular and plural options in Spanish. Excellent, moving on guys. I would like you on this exercise to fill in the gaps with the correct possessive adjective. That's your green task. Your red task, the challenge, is to tell me why ser and estar are being used differently in each sentence. The example, nosotros películas son interesantes. This word here, also known as a personal pronoun, has been changed into the possessive adjective here. We know that because películas is plural feminine, and we want to say our films are interesting. That's why it's nuestras películas son interesantes. See if you can do the rest for me and come back when you're ready for the answers. Excelente, chicos. Vamos. Number 1, ella. This signifies we are talking about a girl, and that is going to be her. So her books, sus libros, because you've got more than one. Number 2, tu, because it's your school, singular. Nosotros, very similar to our example, but we're talking about one person here who is feminine, madre, so it's going to be nuestra. Number 4, ustedes, plural, it's formal, so we're going to be looking at su, because we're saying your boss is brave. Number 5, your, meaning I, so we want to now say my, because my grandparents are happy. Number 6, él, meaning he, so we want to say his, and it's singular, su profesor es comprensivo. Number 7 is tú again, but it's plural this time because of hermanos. Number 8, tú y yo, you and I. In other words, we. So that's going to be nuestros, because we're talking about books, as in exercise books, cuadernos. Number 9, ellas, feminine, plural, in other words, they or their for this one. So their flutes, flautas, sus flautas están perdidas. And number 10, yo, I, we're talking about documentos, that's plural, so we want to say my documents. Excellent, and the explanation for why we have ser and estar in different places is because if we look at ser first, number 1, the books are old. They're permanently old, so they're going to stay that way. Number 3, our mum is not slim. We are describing our mother, a physical trait. Your boss is brave. Personality characteristic we're describing. Same again here for number 6, because we're saying the teacher is understanding. Number 7, we're describing someone here by saying they're young. So your brothers and sisters are young. And that is it for ser. So for estar, we've got a couple of reasons why. So mainly if it's temporary or it's to do with location. And that is the case with number 2 here, because you're saying your school is close, it's nearby. We're talking about emotions in this one, number 5, because we're saying my grandparents are happy. And yes, they might be happy people, but occasionally they might feel excited, they might have a down day, so that's why it's temporary. Our books are wet. They're going to dry out one day, so that's why están mojados. The flutes are lost, están perdidas, but they will be found again. And then the last one here is location, because we're talking about the documents being here. Mis documentos están aquí. Excellent. Moving on, guys. Once again, using possessive adjectives, how would you write the following sentences in Spanish? Okay, sentence number 1. My brother is boring. Mi hermano es aburrido. Possessive adjective, me. My parents are too strict. Mis padres son demasiados estrictos. We'll come back to as to why that word is in red in a bit. Number 3. My aunt is very kind. Mi tía es muy simpática. Number 4. My sister is not tall and is annoying. Mi hermana no es alta y es molesta. Got the use of the negative here for no es alta, she is not tall, and then we change back to es molesta without the no. Number 5, change of possessive adjective here. Nuestros abuelos son viejos. We're saying they're old and we're talking about our grandparents. And then number 6, their cousins are not interesting. Sus primos no son interesantes. So the reason why we've got 2 words in red is because these are called intensifiers. This is to create more emphasis to your writing and your speaking and add a different dimension. We need to make sure that some of them agree. So we've got the examples of bastante, demasiado, and mucho. Make a note of these because you will be needing them a bit later on for your writing. Okay, you've got 3 texts here, guys. You've got green, amber, red. Your green task for all 3 of the texts is to summarize them. And what do we mean by summarize? That means we need to read the whole text and then bullet point our ideas in English. For example, the key points we can be picking up from the green text are the name of the person, their age, how many people are in the family, and any other interesting facts about them. Or you could go for the harder challenge and you can translate each text. All texts are very similar, they just vary in vocabulary. That's why they have the different colours. Once you've done that, you now have to read the text again and answer the following questions. And you can do this in a table format, like I've got here. And if you are uncertain about any vocabulary, you can go to wordreference.com. Give yourself 10 minutes for this activity. Imagine it's a take 10. And we'll come back for the answers. Okay, so the answers for the readings in the table are as follows. In the relationships column, I've made a couple of notes for Pedro and Elena on the Spanish that she or he uses. Worth you noting those down just in case you are uncertain. Pause the video and come back when you are ready. Okay, last activity, guys. You've got to do some writing, please. And you've got to mention at least 3 family members in una descripción de tu familia. I would like you to include the following that is on our checklist, starting at green and working your way up to red. So name, age, their dislikes or their likes, justification. So that means give a reason. Don't just tell me that le gusta jugar al fútbol. Tell me why. Mi hermano le gusta jugar al fútbol porque es interesante y sale con sus amigos. Reference to the future. You can be using the near future. 1, 2, 3. Voy a salir al cine con mi primo. No vamos a comer en un restaurante. And you could always refer to the past. You could say who you used to talk to, for example. You could say, hablaba con mi abuelo por Skype. I used to talk over Skype with my grandfather. Aim to write 90 words and think back to the feedback I gave you on your most recent 90-word question and see if you can incorporate some of those targets this time. Take a photo of your work if you've handwritten this and send it to me over Teams. Otherwise, you can upload a Word document to Teams. Ok, gracias chicos. Espero que estéis bien y nos vemos muy pronto. Hasta luego.